Hello. This video presentation will provide information on the writing and recording of the Other Areas of Learning OAL for the Junior Cycle Profile of Achievement JCPA. The JCPA is part of a reporting process of the Junior Cycle. In the report, a student's achievement across a broad range of areas of learning in Junior Cycle is recorded. It provides a clear, broad picture of a student's learning journey over the 3 years of the Junior Cycle. It should be noted, however, that the JCPA will not be awarded this year due to the exams not taking place. A school-based report will, however, be issued to the students which contains similar features to the JCPA instead. This presentation will explain a little bit more about the Junior Cycle Profile of Achievement and in more detail about the other areas of learning. It is hoped that the presentation will help the students be able to list, rank, prioritise and write their OAL list, that they will also be able to link the OAL to the Junior Cycle Key Skills and Junior Cycle Statements of Learning, and that it will help them to understand how to record and submit their OAL. To summarise, JCPA contains the following 3 aspects. Contains the results of the state certified final exams at the end of the 3 years. These are first reported by the SEC, which is the State Examinations Commission, in September, and then are confirmed and included in the JCPA when it is provided by the school after this. It also reports on the students' achievement in CBAs in subjects and short courses, and it also provides a comment on the students' achievement, participation and progress in other areas of learning, which we will discuss in more detail during this presentation. This is an example of a Junior Cycle Profile of Achievement. As you can see on the left hand side, you have the area for where the results of your Junior Cycle state exams are put. On the right hand side, you have the area for the CBAs, the classroom-based assessments, where the results or descriptors are put in. At the very bottom then we have the area for the other areas of learning that you've undertaken during first, second and third year. It is this area that you will be reflecting on, writing about and submitting information to do with other areas of your school life or school activity that you have done over the last 3 years. When you are recording the other areas of learning, it is vital that you make sure that the OAL that you choose is school related. It had to have happened in the school or while you were wearing the school uniform for any activity where you represented the school in some shape or form. So what is recorded as an OAL? Well, firstly, it must show student achievement, can also show student involvement, and it shows student participation. And this is all done across a broad range of areas of learning through in-school activities in Junior Cycle. It must be noted, however, that any involvement in non-school related activities cannot be considered as an OAL that you can include in your Junior Cycle Profile of Achievement or the school report. Over the next few slides, I'm just going to give you some examples of OALs that can be used. They might be specific for a certain student. There might be some that are closely linked or related that can be used as inspiration or thinking back to when you did do something that was considered or would be considered another area of learning. So for example, you could have won a specific award for sporting, cultural or academic achievements in first, second and third year. So that would mean any national competition when representing the school. Examples that we have been included in before would include Irish Junior Maths Competition, the School Digital Champion, Maths Eyes, Bebra's Challenge, the Worldwise Award, any art competitions that were done through school and any other ones that were done with any other subjects. Any type of school student award that was awarded to a student at the end of term or year could be for attitude, behaviour, attendance or anything academic subject based can be used as another area of learning. Also, if you are a member of a school sporting team, example, football, soccer, basketball, athletics, or any other one, that can be used as another area of learning. If you are a member of a non-sporting extracurricular activity, such as student council, a digital group, the environmental committee, if you are representing the school as a relationship keeper, or even if you are part of the choir, this can also be included as another area of learning. More examples that can be used would include if you took part in the organisation of a charity fundraising event, for example in the Christmas shoebox appeal, if you represented the school in public in a drama or dance, if you took part in organising or being involved in a school event, for example open night, school information night, participating even in the religious education programme or even in the wellbeing programme which is done by the school would be seen as another area of learning. Any school leadership role, student council, digital leader, maths leader, anything else that would require a leadership role within the school as a student would be seen as another area of learning. If you took part in any learning experience that you deem as being a beneficial one, such as restorative practice workshops, digital workshops, philosophy workshops, if you took part in the Amgen Biotech programme, which was part of science, if you took part in the Student Leaders Congress, or Rowing Ireland, or coding workshops, or Resilience Academy training, any of those would be seen again as another area of learning. Finally, any initiatives that were taken in class, such as if you completed a project in any subject, if you won a baking prize for home ec, if you completed a design project in woodwork, or if you made a model for any particular subject, if you wrote a poem or story for Wellbeing Week or designed a symbol for Wellbeing Week. Anything that was a different or new initiative that was undertaken as part of a subject in school could be seen as another area of learning. If you were part of any school club such as music club, science club, photography, games club, or any other one, that would be seen as another area of learning. Finally, if you played an active role in your CSP action project, that can be also deemed as an OAL. When you are writing your OAL, you simply cannot state the activity and leave it at that. You have to write about the key skills that you learned while completing this other area of learning. In order to help you do that, there are two posters that have been provided on this slide: the key skills, the junior cycle, and the statements of learning. In order to access either of them in more detail, you can click on the links that are provided here in order to formulate the key skills that you might have gained during an OAL. When you are writing your OAL, you need to reflect obviously on the key skills, which is on the previous slide, that you learned while completing it. There are examples here on this slide that can be used to generate some ideas or inspire you into how you can formulate your sentences using key skills and using the activity that was involved. The idea here is to use the key skills and statements of learning posters on the previous slide to help you reflect on the skills that you learned. The skills below are highlighted in blue. For example, John was a member of the school student council. This helped him understand how meetings are run and how to organise an agenda. Furthermore, this allowed him to develop his problem-solving skills, his ability to innovate and communicate effectively with his class. So the first thing is that you write down the activity that was involved, and then you follow this with an explanation about the key skills that you learned. It has nothing to do with what the activity entailed, but rather what you developed or what you gained as skills from doing this activity. If we look at the second one, John was a member of the basketball team, where he committed to team training and competitions and developed his tactical competencies and skills. Again, you're looking at key skills here that were developed by John in general with that activity. So when writing your OAL again, you need to decide which OAL you would like to include in your JCPA, or in this case, it's going to be your school report. So complete the following steps when deciding your other area of learning. After you have made a list of all of your other areas of learning, please discuss with your parents or guardians at home which ones you would like to use, and you need to then rank them in order of importance to you. You need to pick a minimum of 3 and a maximum of 5. You need to remember to focus on the learning achieved, which is the skills and knowledge rather than the activities. You also need to make sure that you link each OAL with a key skill. And again, you can refer to the previous slides when you are doing this. Finally, you will have been sent a Word document in your email that can be used as a guide as to how to write these OALs. When writing your OAL into your Word document, it is so important that you remember the following key things. The OAL must be written in the third person. You cannot write it from your first point of view. So when you're talking about yourself, you need to say, instead of I or me, you're going to mention your name. So it was John was a member of the basketball team where he committed to team training and competitions and developed his tactical competencies and skills. It's very, very important as well that you're using past tense when you're doing this. This is not something that's happening presently, but we can talk about that as something that has happened during your 3 years of learning. Try and write them as numbered points, which will make it easier for you to follow. Keep your word count per OAL to 120 words, as there's only so much room that we will be able to fit onto the school report for these OALs. Spelling and grammar is very, very important, so please make sure that any mistakes that you make, that you correct them. Make sure that somebody proofreads these, so you can contact a teacher, or you could use your parents or guardians at home or a sister or brother in order to help you proofread anything. Make sure as well that you use a teacher reference for each OAL. This is the person that was involved in organising the training, workshop, committee, club, competition in the school or outside of the school. It is used as a reference for teachers to know that this actual activity did happen before and it was organised by a member of staff. After you have written out your OAL into your Word document and it has been proofread by a parent or guardian or by a teacher, and that the activity that was carried out by the teacher has been verified, you can now copy and paste this information over to a Microsoft Forms link that will have been sent to you also in an email. This will be the final area that you submit your OAL information to. When you are recording and submitting your OAL and you've clicked into the link for the Microsoft Forms, which is called the JCPA Other Areas of Learning, you should see a form pop up like this. The very opening of the form will ask you for information like student name, the tutor group that you're in. You will provide this information and then it will progress on to writing in your first OAL. So as you can see, the first OAL is going to contain information like what year did the activity or event take place, so was it first, second or third year. You have to name the activity or the event. You then have to give a description of the skills shown, which is the area that you will have written in the third person. And then you will also have an area to write down the name of the teacher reference. This is again the person who organised the activity, the event, the competition or the club. Be very careful again when you are copy and pasting over the information from the Word document into these areas. Please make sure again that it has been proofread, spelling and grammar are correct, and that you are happy with the content that is inside it. Finally, when you are happy with the information that you have provided on the OAL, you can then press submit. You need to make sure that you confirm that the details that you are providing are true and accurate, and that this is you understanding that if you exceed the word limit, the school can select any particular OAL that will not appear in the JCPA or in your school report as a result. Please just press submit at the end in order for the form to save.